my name is Liz, and welcome to our BLF Series product video. The BLF product has a speed range from 80 to 4,000 RPM. There are 4 speed setting methods, and you can do multi-speed operation using up to 8 speeds. You can do easy operation with the digital operator located on the driver itself. There's various digital displays, and the BLF series goes up to a 400-watt motor. These motors are IP65 rating for protection against dust and water. Here we compare the speed torque curve of a BLF series and that of a FBL series. The FBL is a legacy brushless product. We can see the BLF product has a wider speed range from 80 to 4,000 RPM, and it has twice the starting torque than that of the rated torque. You have the ability to set 8 acceleration and 8 deceleration rates. There's an easy teaching function to set the speed while the motor is running. Additional features include the hollow shaft gearhead for a space-saving design, eliminating the need for a coupling or pulleys. Additional features of the hollow shaft gearhead includes higher output torque. Here we compare the gear ratios to that of the rated torque. We compare a parallel shaft type gearhead, represented by this red line, to that of the FR type, which is the hollow shaft gearhead. There is no gearhead saturation with the hollow shaft gearhead. Some features of the BLF series include the digital operator, an internal potentiometer to vary speed. You can vary speed using an external potentiometer. You can vary speed using external DC voltage, or the digital operator by 1 RPM increments. There's 3 different speed display modes. You can display RPM, conveyor speed in meters per minute, or load factor. And multiple speed operation can be used, up to 8 speed settings. Here we can see the various digital displays. We can see the speed in RPM, the transfer speed in meters per minute, the load factor in percentage, or you can display alarm code. So if in fact an alarm was to occur, you can see the alarm code displayed. Overload warning function is also a feature of the BLF product. You can turn this function on or off. The warning function can be set for load factors between 50% and 100% in 10% increments. Here we can see an example of the overload warning function on this speed torque curve. The output signal is activated when loading is greater than the user set point. In this example, about 70%. An overload protection is active when the load exceeds the rated torque for more than 5 seconds. So if you're operating in this limited duty region, shaded in blue, you have to operate in there within 5 seconds or less. The BLF motor is IP65 protected with a remote control kit, which is sold separately. It includes a rubber gasket and a 2-meter or 5-meter cable. You can also protect the digital operator, and you can control the motor now remotely. The motors are IP65 rated, where 6 is a completely dust-proof design, and 5 is a protection against water jets from all directions. The BLF series is also RoHS compliant. Here we can see in more detail the BLF driver. We have the digital operator, our I/O, our internal speed potentiometer, our signal cable, protective earth terminal, power supply connection terminals, and the motor connection terminals. The digital operator has the mode indicator LEDs, a unit indicator LEDs, the run key and the stop key, operation keys, an alarm LED, and a run LED. On the driver itself, we have the power LED. There's a sync and source input, external voltage selection switch, whether you want to use 0 to 5 volts or 0 to 10 volts DC, the remote control connector, and the digital operator connector. Here we can see a detailed wiring diagram for the driver of the BLF product. We have our input voltage, our motor connection, our signal connection, our output. We have a speed output, which outputs 30 pulses per motor revolution, alarm outputs, and the output common. Here we have the ability to connect an external potentiometer, the operation data selection switches. These are inputs, so you can program up to 8 speed settings, and you use these inputs to select them. And here we have our I/O signal connection. Our clockwise and counterclockwise rotation, our stop mode, alarm reset, and input common. I'd now like to introduce the BLF Series product demo. Here we have a BLF motor and driver combination. I'm using a 30-watt motor with a 20-to-1 gear ratio. We have the driver here. I have the remote control kit connected to the digital operator. Therefore, I'm able to separate the two. Here I have the motor, the 30-watt motor with a 20-to-1 gear ratio. And this lever here will represent load later on. I have my I/O control down here, an external potentiometer, and alarm LED for the alarm output, and an alarm reset. Here on the digital operator, we can see that the modes are located up at the top. Right now we're in monitor mode. We have our direction, forward or reverse. Here we have either local or remote. As of right now, we're in local mode. And the final one is the program, where you can program your speed settings, acceleration, deceleration, and so on. Here at the bottom, I have the I/O control. I have a start, stop, a run break, clockwise or counterclockwise, my speed selection switches, M0, M1, and M2. On the digital operator, we're going to go ahead and select run. We're in local mode. Selecting run, we can see the LED turn on. Now it's going to run based on the internal pot, which is located on the driver itself. As I begin to rotate the knob, we can see the digital operator display the speed and the motor beginning to move. And I'm decreasing the speed now. complete 0. Now we're going to zoom back into the digital operator, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to remote mode. So you select stop, the run LED turns off, and by pushing the mode button, I'll change from local using the down arrow to remote and select set. And I'll go back to the monitor mode. Now we are in remote, so I can use the external I/O to control speed. I'm going to turn on the start and the run. By turning on the start and the run input on the digital operator, the run LED has now turned on, and I'm going to use the potentiometer to vary speed. This is using the internal pot on the drive. We're going to leave the speed set here at about 20 RPM. I'm going to turn on the speed select switch M0. By turning that on, the motor has now stopped because my form of control is now going to be the external potentiometer. So now I can use my external potentiometer to vary speed. You can see here this is at about 159 RPM. If I turn that input off, it will default back to what we have the internal pot at. If I turn M0 back on, it'll now default back to my external control. We can also do speed control based on a pre-programmed setting that's on the BLF motor. By turning on M0 and M1, I'm going to now activate the pre-programmed, which is about 81 RPM at the motor. So I'm going to go ahead and turn M1 off, leaving M0 on, which is now the external control. And if I turn that off and all the speed selection is off, it'll now default back to the driver potentiometer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and alarm out the system by adding load. And we can see now that we have an alarm on the digital operator. You can see the alarm code is displayed and the alarm LED is on, as well as the alarm LED is also on. We can go ahead and reset the alarm with the reset switch. So we can go ahead, first we have to remove the excess load. Alarm 30 is an overload protection, so we've operated in the limited duty region for over 5 seconds, so the motor alarms out. You have to turn off your inputs, and then you can go ahead and reset your alarm. Now we can see on the digital operator the alarm has been cleared, and we're now able to run. The BLF Series product is an AC input system. It's available in single phase 100 to 120, single phase 200 to 230, or 3-phase 200 to 230. The frame sizes available are 60 millimeter frame size for a 30-watt motor, an 80 millimeter frame size for a 60-watt motor, a 90 millimeter frame size for a 120-watt motor, and a 104 millimeter frame size for a 200 and 400 watt motor. These are available as a combination, motor and driver. These are available in a parallel shaft, a hollow shaft, or a round shaft type motor. Connection cables are required, but they are sold separately due to the various lengths available from 1 meter to 20 meter options. My name is Liz, and I'd like to thank you for watching our BLF product video. If you have any questions or need help selecting a motor, please feel free to contact us at 1-800-GO-VEXTA or email us at techsupport@orientalmotor.com.